Welcome, 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 welcome. It's Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. Give me just a minute so I can load the comments and then we will get started in about probably 5 minutes. So give me just a second and let me find my, oh, there we go. Gotta find my chat. I gotta open the chat box for y'all. All right, let's see what we got going on. Get my message in here. All right, I think we're good. So let's see if this is going to work. All right, I think we are good. I'm going to play with the lighting a little bit here, I think, while I'm waiting on y'all, because I can see the light behind my head, and I think that might be a little irritating. I was trying to see, let me go into my Facebook page. It's rather dark in here, but I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the screen. So I'm trying to figure out how to get my head to cover up that light. Maybe I need to sit a little bit like this. Let's see. Let me turn the camera a little bit, and then I can move it when we get ready to switch it over. Because that's a little irritating. All right, let me go into my Facebook page and make sure that we're live so I can see what's taking place. And let's see. Give me a minute. I got to get into that page here. There we go. All right. It is showing that we are live. Okay. So let's see. It is still kind of dark, isn't it? Oh my goodness gracious, you guys. I don't know what to do about that. I've got lights on, but I don't know if I have them turned. Give me a second. While I'm waiting for y'all to come in, I'm going to play with my lights. So I think I need more light over this way. And I think the main thing is going to be on the tabletop. Now, I don't really care if I'm in the dark. I'm going to sit over here in front of this and then I'll turn it. I'll turn the camera. Let me move this over here so that's not irritating. And then I'll move things around once we get, let me go back this way. I can see in the camera. Okay. I'm watching on my phone. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. It is the end of September. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. Where is the time going? You know, it's going to be October 1st tomorrow. And I've got a lot of stuff to do. Working on a video for one of the weeks that I'm going to be gone because we're leaving, I think, on the 14th and coming back on the 22nd. So we'll be gone like a week and a half. And I'll have one video recorded. And then there'll be 1 week of no Dawney. But I also have my newsletter, 12 Weeks of Christmas, that I need to get planned. And I've been working on things for that. But it's like, oh, my goodness. You know, it's just one thing after another, and things take so long and so much time to do. It's a little aggravating sometimes, but you know, it is what it is. It's okay. So come on in and make yourself comfortable. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are watching me on Facebook, please make sure that you share and like and share my channel with your crafting friends if you like what you see this evening. And if you're watching on YouTube, welcome. And the same thing, if you like, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and then click the bell so that every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. So that will be Facebook, YouTube is every Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then every other week is a Fundamental Friday technique class, and that's Friday at 12 o'clock. And that will be coming up this Friday, the 3rd, if I'm not mistaken for a second, yeah, the 3rd. And then the following Saturday, let me just check my calendar because I get confused. We'll do our, where is it? Okay, hang on a minute. I don't have it in my calendar. It's probably, I'll confirm this. I have a feeling it's going to be next the Saturday, the 11th should be my sketch class, but I will confirm that once I get to my, once I go into my scheduling software program where I schedule my posts, because I've got all the months scheduled. And I know that was scheduled, but I must not have put it in my calendar, which wasn't very smart, was it? So that's not too good. But anyways, let's see, what time is it? It is, 6:59. So we got a few more minutes for people to come popping in. So let's see what's happening. So besides, I'm gonna move over just a little bit so you don't see that light behind me, and then we'll fix that once I turn the camera down. But so in addition to filming a video, I've done the first half of it for the week that I'm going to be gone. And then I've got the other part I'm finishing up, which I still have several more things to do before I can get it videoed, where I can go through and videotape it for you guys. And birthday cards are all done for the month, so that's good. They're all ready to go out in the mail. I just need to wait till it gets closer to those dates. If you're not on my mailing list, my birthday mailing list, just leave a comment birthday and I will send you, or you can just send me your month. Well, actually, just put birthday and I'll send you a message because I'll need your address and your month and date of birth. You can give me the year if you want to, but you don't need to. So we have that going on. And then let's see what else is going on. If you're not on my newsletter, then you might want to sign up because I send out a weekly newsletter every Tuesday. And we are coming up to our 12 weeks of Christmas, where I provide a weekly, I send the regular email goes out, newsletter goes out on Tuesdays. My 12 weeks of Christmas will go out on a Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And I'll let you know when that is. It's probably going to be in a week or so from now. I've got to look at the calendar. And that's what I've got to be working on here this week and this weekend, is I need to get all that stuff done. So I will send 4 weeks of card making ideas. Then you'll get 4 weeks of packaging, like boxes, bags, tags, all of that. And then 4 weeks of fun folding type cards as well, or a collage of whatever. So those are some of the things that you'll get in the Christmas portion of that for the 12 weeks of Christmas. So if you're not on my newsletter, there is a link below the video. So click that link and that will take you to the sign up form. And then you're going to get an opt-in email, a second email that asks you to confirm that you want to join my email list. And then you'll get a series of information. I don't want to call them templates, just information pieces that I put together, but depending on your level of crafting. If you're newer, some of it will be good for everybody. Some might be catered a little bit to more of the newer people, but that's okay. So you're going to get probably five or six different things that I've put together throughout like a 2-week time frame, maybe a little bit longer than that. Okay, so just be aware of that. That's something that you will get. And then you'll get my weekly newsletter that goes out on Tuesday, and then Wednesday will be once we start the 12 weeks of Christmas, that will go out on a Wednesday. Okay. All right. So hi, Linda. How are you? Good evening. So we will give it a few more minutes to let people come on. I know it's the timing. We've got people from the East Coast, Midwestern part of the state, and then East Coast. So we'll get started in just a few minutes, and then I'll go over some of the things that are taking place in Stampin' Up. So we'll go over that in just a few minutes. But tonight is going to be a fun night. I'm making a self-locking box, and we're not going to do any stamping. So I'm going to go through the process and cut everything and show you how to do it. It may not take, it's probably not going to take an hour. It depends on how much I talk. So anyways, but we'll get started with that in just a few minutes. I'm covering the light behind my head until I flip the camera down. So, all right. So welcome everyone. If you're, again, I'll just repeat myself. If you're watching for the first time, welcome. If you're on Facebook, make sure that you like and share my page. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, welcome as well. And make sure to subscribe and click the bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. And I typically do 4, 5, 6, about 7 videos a month, once a week. And then there should be 3 throughout. So I think that should probably work out to about 7, unless there's an extra week. All right, so we're going to get started here in just a minute. Hey, Phyllis, how are you? Let's some of my buddies, she lives in Tallahassee, Florida. She was living outside the villages, and that's how I met her when I lived in the villages. So we're following each other around Florida. She's only about 3.5, 4 hours from me. So that's the unfortunate side. Because before I was close enough, I could drive to her house. I used to deliver her orders. I'd drive all the way over and hang out with her for a little bit and see what was going on in her world. So, but now we text and message each other all the time. That's what we do. Almost every day, probably at least 2 or 3 times a week, usually. So we'll see. All right, we're going to start here in just a few minutes for those of you that are here. It is 7:05. Let me go over, before I flip the camera down, let me go over tomorrow. If you haven't seen the Facebook, which you should have because you had to go to Facebook to get here, tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I am going to do an information session on joining Stampin' Up. During the month of October, Stampin' Up has a great special. There's 2 actually. One, and I'm not going to go into all the detail now, but I will. One is you pay $35 and you'll get to choose $125 in product. And the second one is you spend $99 plus sales tax on both, and you get to choose $189 in product. So tomorrow I'm going to go over the 2 differences, what I would recommend. I'm going to talk to you about what all is involved if you, as a demonstrator, some of the perks that come with it, some of the community aspects that come with it. You don't have to do classes like what I'm doing. You don't have to be online. You don't have to do any of that if you choose not to. But if you also want to do it to make a little extra money, then I'll talk about a few ways that we can help you do that as well. So make sure to join me tomorrow. It's good. I'll be live on Facebook and YouTube. So I'll be able to chat with you all, hopefully give you the information. And then there's about a 15-second delay between the comments. And then once you all receive that, then that will give me time to review if somebody has made a comment, and then I can respond to those as well. So, okay. Uh-oh. Once, but we'll do again. You're frozen. I'm frozen. Am I frozen? Oh, hi, Karen. Am I frozen to you guys? Oh, Lord, please tell me we're not doing this again. Okay, I'm going to wait for the comments. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera down. So give me just a minute. I got to make some adjustments. So bear with me. Close your eyes if you don't want to, watch me flip everything. I'm going to flip. I'm trying to get the lighting. I'm going to pull this up. I'm trying to get the lighting, and it looks really dark to me. So give me a second. I need to, hold on. I'm going to adjust this, and I need to adjust this part here. And I think that's going to help if I move this back under the lights. Let me pull some of these lights over. Hang on a minute. I got lights all over the place. I'm trying to make sure. Hang on. Let me get this down. I'm going to move this back. There we go. And pull it up some so you're not looking completely at. All right. How's that? Does that look all right? Do I need to go up a little bit higher? Hang on. This is the part that I don't like. All right, bear with me. I'm going to try to get it up a little bit higher, and then I'm going to adjust the camera part down. There we go. All right, so let's turn. Let me get some more light in this way. Maybe we need more on the table. Let me see what's working. Let me turn this guy. I'm not sure if I need to turn it towards me or away from me. I think I need to turn it towards me. All right, hang on. We've got another one back here, so let me move this guy up and see if I thought I had him in there. So let's put him like that and see if that helps. That way my body won't be in the way. All right, I think that will help. Okay. All right, what do y'all think? Tell her to go out and come back in. Linda, if you're there, go out and come back in. That's what Karen says to do. I don't know why it keeps freezing up. I don't understand. So is that good lighting for you all? Let me look on my Facebook page. That's easier. I think it looks better when I'm on my Facebook page than it does when I'm not. So let me just check it real quick, and let's just check and make sure. I'll be glad to today, yeah, I think that's good. Today, my husband was watching, I was working in the other room. I told him yesterday, I was so tired of being interrupted and the noise. And today he had the TV so loud, I put my earplugs in my ears, for the headphone things, but I wasn't listening to anything. So I'm working away because I had to block the TV sound out. And he came into the kitchen and was apparently he was talking to me and I wasn't answering. He said, finally, I looked up and I see his mouth moving. And I'm like, what are you talking? I took my thing out. And he goes, I was talking to you. And I said, well, you have the TV blaring and I can't concentrate. So I put my ear things in. So anyways, all right. Now I lost my train of thought of what I was going to talk to you all about. I know we talked about the join thing. So those that are just joining, tomorrow, 12 o'clock, I'll be doing a live Facebook and YouTube on our new join offers that Stampin' Up is offering for the month of October. And I will give you my opinion on those and some information so that you can make a good decision if you think it's something for you. And if it's not, that's okay. But I want you to make sure you have all the information because it really is a good deal. And I'll go over all of that tomorrow. So 12 o'clock. Be here, be square, whatever. Okay. All right. Now it looks dark again, doesn't it? Okay. We are going to do a self-locking box. So I'm going to show you this. We're not going to do any stamping. So, and I'll go over this and give you all the measurements once we get started. So here's the box. This one I used that fall paper that has the pumpkins. And so I did, and I wasn't thinking, I used pumpkin pie, which is fine. This is really crushed curry, but I'm not crushed curry. I'm sorry. Cajun craze, but it kind of looks more orangey because it's not quite as dark. Man, I tell you what, this thing looks really dark to me. I wish there was a way I could lighten this thing up. Okay, so this is the box. So we're going to make this, and then you open up, and it's a pretty good sized box. I mean, you can put candies in here. It is it's 1 inch high, and it is, I think it's 2 3/4. No, I'm sorry, it is about 4 1/4 wide. So this would be good. You could put candy, you could put tea bags, you could put jewelry in here, you could put money, gift cards. You can even put whatever. You put whatever you want to in here, right? So this is something that you could make and create something all year for various celebrations. So this is one that I did with a fall theme, and we're going to put some designer paper on the sides, and I'll tell you how I did this here. And then of course we put the piece on the inside. Now, if you want to add a sentiment to this, you can, but I didn't do that. But if you want to, there's no reason why you can't. Okay. And then here's one that I did that's out of Mossy Meadow, and this is holiday themed. This is some of that paper from something Seasons. It came out last year, but it's still I think it's still in the online exclusives, if I'm not mistaken. I tell you what, when I'm looking at this thing, okay, it's much better on what you all see than what I see on my thing. So this, again, we're using that beautiful golden green paper. Bring it up so that y'all can see that. And then we open it up, and then there's the inside. So we've got the inside all nice and pretty decorated. And I'm going to show you how to make the folding aspect and the box itself. And again, it's a pretty good size box, 4 1/4 this way. And what did I say? This one, I didn't tell you that. This one is about 2 3/4. So that's a good size box. So you can put lots of goodies in there, and then you just close it up like that, and then it should hopefully stay shut. That's if you can line them up when you're trying to when I was trying to do it with one hand, it makes it a little bit difficult because I was trying to hold this in place so that I could glue this piece on and hold it down enough to where it's going to adhere. But it really, once you do a couple of them, it'll be pretty easy. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. So we're going to start with a piece of cardstock, and I'm going to cut this down so you'll have all of the measurements. Now, I am using, oh my goodness, something blossoms this paper. You've seen it before. It's the it's got melon mambo, shy shamrock, berry burst, and that's the front or one of the sides. And then the back side, this is pool party. Some of it's, what's the Coastal Cabana? It's probably more Coastal Cabana. And I should have wrote the name down and I didn't. But anyways, so this is Melon Mambo. So we're going to cut, we've got to cut two different things. So the first thing we're going to do is we've got to cut our piece that's going to be the flap that's going to wrap around the box. So this piece right here, this piece here goes all the way under. So that's what we're going to cut first. And then we'll cut a piece to make our box, okay? So this piece needs to be 3 inches by 11. Okay, so 3 inches by 11. So we're going to cut that down. I'm going to move this piece off to the side because we're going to need that again. I need to open my arm because we are going to need to extend and do some additional, we're going to do some scoring. Don't think I need my scissors. We're going to put them right there. All right, so let's turn this and make sure I got this 3 inches by 11. So we want to start out and we're going to start our first score at 2 1/4. So we're going to line that up. Whoops. All right, so we're going to do 2 1/4. And then we're going to slide that down and score at 3 1/4. And then we're going to slide that down to 7 3/4. And then we're going to move it down to 8 3/4. Okay, so that's our, what I'm going to call it, the flap of the box. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take and fold these score lines, and you'll see how it's making that, the layer. And then we'll go ahead and burnish these in just a minute, okay? So I'm just going to put this off to the side for the moment, and then we'll score everything, or burnish everything when we get done. All right, now to make the box, we need a piece that is 6 3/8 by 4 7/8. So this is shorter. So we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to cut 6 3/8. So that's going to be 6, and you're going to go to 6 1/8, 6 1/4. And it's going to be 1 notch up to 6 3/8. So it should be right at the end of the trimmer here, because then you'll have 2 to get you to 6 1/2. So it's 6 3/8 is what we're going to cut. Okay. And then we're going to move this piece out of the way. Now we're going to turn it because we need the other part at 4 7/8. So go to 3/4 and move it up 1. And then that will give us two notches, and that gets us at 4 7/8. So we're going to trim that down. Okay. And that we're going to move away. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to score all 4 sides on 1 inch. So I'm going to move the trimmer over to this side because I've got my 1 inch mark right there, and it's easier because I can hold it with my left hand. So you're going to score all 4 sides at 1 inch. So we're just going to keep turning everything till we get to the 1 inch mark, and we're going to score. And then we're going to come around and score again. And we're going to do one more at 1 inch. And again, my 1 inch I'm looking at over here on the left-hand side. Okay. So there is going to be the piece that we need for our box. All right. Now you're going to also need, which I've already done this because I didn't want to bring the trimmer in here and have to jiggle the table. You'll need to have a scrap piece. And I'll show you in just a minute. You need to have a scrap because we're going to cut out the banner and the locking mechanism. And I'm using the Stylish Shapes dies. And you can use whatever banner or however you want to use, whatever you want to use for your locking mechanism. But I'm using this large banner here. So we're going to use this one. And then I'm going to use this little smaller one down here to make my locking mechanism. So, and I'll show you this in just a few minutes when we get to that point. So I'm going to leave these out so I can show you how I did that. Okay. All right. So let me put this back in my little plastic thing so I don't, my sleeve, so I don't lose anything. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the flap back. I'm going to call it the flap back over because we want to go ahead and get this a good burnish. This is what's going to wrap around our box so that we can get it locked so it will cover the box. This is going to act like the lid and the box cover itself. Okay, so all we need to do is that we've scored all our 4 score lines, and now I've burnished those. So we're going to set those off to the side. Now, this is the piece that we just did. So I'm going to fold along all of the 1-inch sides. I'm going to come back and burnish those in just a minute. I like to fold them first before I burnish. Okay, so now I'm going to come in, burnish all of them with my bone folder. And then we're going to cut the corners so that we can make our box. All right. Okay. So, and I'm going to flap this back just a little bit so I can see my lines when I go to cut. So we don't want to take them off, but we're going to cut up the score line. So cut up from here to the first score line. Okay. So on this side, we want to just take a little tiny triangle out of that corner so that we can make sure that it folds with nothing getting in the way. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing on this one. So we're going to cut up that score line to this first score line. And then I'm going to come in at an angle and just do a little snippet, not much. Let me move it over. Just a little snippet off of this end so that it will close. And then you're going to do that on both sides. Okay. So we're going to cut up the score line, and then we're going to do a little trim. And I can see where I went off a little bit on that. So I'm going to come back and trim this piece right here because I didn't do that. I missed that part when I started cutting. Sometimes you might have to go back and make a little notch, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. And then we'll do the last one here. And so we're going to cut up there. And then again, I'm going to take a little sliver off of that flap so that it will adhere. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to do with that. So let me move this out of the way, get all my pieces in the trash. All right. This is really an easy box to make. All right. So then what we'll do is we will fold that. But before we do that, we have a little bit more cutting to do. So let me bring the paper trimmer back. Paper trimmer back in. So then we'll have all our pieces and then we can put it all together. Okay. So now we've got our designer paper. And the first thing we're going to do is we want to cut the bottom, this piece right here. We want to cut a piece to go in here. So we're going to decorate that part. And then we're going to do 2 more pieces for the sides right here. So we want to decorate those as well. All right. So I am going to, first thing I'm going to do is cut, because I've got my piece, I want to do it before I mess things up. I think this is set at 4 1/4. Let me make sure. Oh, no, this is not. It's set at 4. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. Let me turn it around. I'm going to go ahead and cut my inside piece, and then I'm going to cut down for my sides, and I'll show you why I'm going to do that. The sides are going to be off a little bit, but that's okay. I thought I had enough room up here, but we'll make it work. Okay. So we need to cut 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to turn it this way because it's going to go in the box this way. So we want to get this at 4 1/4. So I'm going to line this up at 4 1/4 right here. Okay. And we're going to cut that off, and then we're going to turn it and cut this down to 2 3/4. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to put inside the box when we get ready to create this. All right. So we'll glue that down. Now you can use either side, whichever you prefer. All right. So what we'll do is we'll glue that down after we do get our box, whatever, together. Okay. All right. Now I need to make our side pieces for the sides of the box. And those you're going to cut at 7/8 by 4 1/4. So this is 4 1/4. So I'm going to make 2 of these. So 7/8 is going to be the 2 marks before you get to the 1 inch. So I'm going to cut this down. All right. So that's going to be one of my pieces right there. And we're going to set that off to the side. And then I'm going to, because I need another one, right? I'm going to cut it this way. And I think, yeah, we'll be going in the right direction. So I need 7/8 and 7/8. I don't want to cut. Yeah, let me just cut the whole thing. All right, so I've got it lined up at 7/8. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. We need 4 1/4. I'm just going to. Oh, I can do it right here. All right, I'm using the side of my paper trimmer, and I've got it lined up at the 4 1/4 mark. So I'm going to from here. I'm going to cut up that way. I don't have to cut my paper and kind of waste. And then I'm going to cut this over to where I get to the 1 inch, or to the 7/8 actually. And there's the piece that I need for my other side. That was a little bit more complicated than it really should have been. Okay. So, all right. So there's that. Now we'll come back. Whoopsie. Let's go ahead and get started on putting our box together. I'm going to go, now you can do again, I'm going to leave the pink because I really like that. It goes with it. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down because it does give me room. And then we're going to go ahead and attach our corners and get all of that so that we can get our box made. And then we'll do our side pieces. Actually, yeah, let me do this first and then we'll do our sides before we glue it together. If I can get my glue. Hang on. I squirted this out before we started and I had it going, but it must have got another, must not have gotten the big glob out of it. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to put that on the inside, and then I'll do my sides before we glue our tabs together. All right, so you can see my score lines right there. So I'm going to get it right almost tucked up to that, so we know that it's going to close. So we're going to hold that down, make sure it's nice and pressed, and that works. All right, now keep in mind, this is going to go like this, okay? Because, I'm sorry, this is going to go, we're going to lay that down, so the box is going to go like that. So I need to make sure this is my top, and I don't think it's going to matter with this design. The design I did on the pumpkins, I kept thinking the top was going to be upside down. So I have my paper on the sides going this way instead of up. Okay, if that makes sense. So if you've got a pattern to it, then you do want to make sure you've got it where it's going to be laying on the cardstock with it going out on the outside of the cardstock, if that makes sense. Okay, I hope that makes sense to y'all. All right, so we're going to add a little bit of glue here, and we're going to add these to the 2 side flaps. All right, so we're going to place one here. Now this one, it really doesn't matter because it's the same design. It's just going, instead of going that way, my design's going sideways, but that's okay. It's in line with what we're doing. All right, and then this one is going to be the same thing, right? So we're going to put it right here, and we're going to add that there because that one's going to go up as well. Whoops, up as well. This is what I'm saying. It's really an easy box to do. So this would make a great like gift card box for the holidays. You could make it for a birthday, present and anniversary, any kind of gift giving idea that you want to give somebody, or just because if somebody's not feeling well, you can make some tea, put some tea bags in here, cough drops, whatever, right? All right, so now we're going to come in and we're going to glue our flaps and we're going to close up our box. All right, so we're going to put some adhesive on all 4 of our flaps. I'm just going to do each side first. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on there. Hang on a second. Let me just make sure that this is, I just want to make sure it's scored. That's why we cut a little bit off on the inside flap. So that way it folds nicely. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and push this in, and I'm going to line up my corner on this side and make sure my cardstock is all the way down. I'm going to hold it for just a minute so it will adhere. And then I'll do the same thing on this one. I'm going to push it down, make sure my corners are lined up, and just hold it again. See how easy this is and how fast it's coming together? All right, so we want to hold it like that. And then we're going to do the same thing for these as well. So we'll go ahead and add some adhesive here. Now you can use your seal if you want to do that. I like doing stuff like this. I like the liquid glue because it allows me to move it if I need to. And so that's why I do that. All right, so again, we're going to push this one down to make sure it's flat and my corners are lined up. And then we'll come over and do this one. And the same thing. Now see how easy that is? All right, so let's, this one, hang on, we got a piece that's sitting up a little bit higher. He's a little bit higher, so I'm going to, I must not have trimmed that one exactly right. So I'm going to push those together. This one, I'm just going to take my paper snips. I'm just going to snip off this little tiny sliver right here. No one's going to notice it. And you probably wouldn't notice if I didn't tell you, but we're going to trim that down I'm just going to go right to the edge right there. No one's going to know it's there. That way it just doesn't interfere with our box closing. All right, so there's our box, right? Okay, and then this will lay in here. We're going to glue it down, and then it's going to fold over, and it's going to close just like that. So what we need to do is we want to make sure that when we get this on here, that we've got our pieces in place before we attach our closing mechanism, all right? So that's the part. You just want to make sure you've got it lined up straight before you glue it down, okay? Or you have time to move it. So we're going to put glue on the bottom of this. So I'm going to go ahead and line the glue on the bottom of the box. I'm watching again now and saving to catch what I missed. Okay, great, Linda. Yeah, Karen had suggested I guess like reset. I don't know. I'm not sure why stuff like that happens, you know. Okay, so now we've got the glue on the bottom. So I'm going to line this up, and I want to make sure that I've got my sides even, right? So before I push it all down, I got to make sure I've got room on both sides, which I do. We got just a little bit of spare, not a whole lot, which is okay. So you're just going to have to look at that plate. Just kind of move it around if you need to. This is going to fold up fine. That's going to fold up fine. So now we're going to give this a good press. One of the ladies, she puts a punch inside and lets it sit in there. We'll just hold it down. It's not that bad. Okay. All right. So there's our flap that's going to go over our box, just like that. Okay. Now, then you're going to take another piece of your cardstock and your paper, and you want to glue it together on a scrap. You want to do probably 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, whatever works with you. And depending on what you're going to use for your locking mechanisms, excuse me. And then you want to run this through the die cut machine. Now, what you want to do is you're going to lay your label, whatever the die is that you're going to use, lay it down on the paper because we're going to run this through the machine, right? And then we're going to take that little smaller one and we're going to put that in the center, try to get it centered, put some washi tape over that to hold it in place, and then run it through your die cutting machine. So that's what it's going to look like when you run it through the machine, okay? So glue your designer paper to a piece of cardstock and give you enough room. And then lay your die on it of whatever it is that you're going to cut. And then the centerpiece, you want to put that in the center. And whatever that piece is, you want it small enough, but that's going to be your locking mechanism, okay? So we're going to take these off. Now we're going to pull these apart. You can use this if you want it for something. I don't know what you could use it for, but it's there. And then we're going to pop out our piece that we cut, right? So we have this, and then we have this. Now, I also cut another one of these out of the same color cardstock. And the reason I did that is we're going to add that on top of this just to give it a little bit of lift so it helps to lock down, if you will, the box once we get it put together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on, pardon me, on this, and you want to make sure if it's stitched, like these have stitches, you want to make sure you got your stitches facing upwards and not downwards. I mean, they can face downwards, but you just won't see the pretty stitches. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and line that up on top of here, and I've got the flowered portion going face down, so you don't see that. And then I'm just going to pull this up and make sure that they're even, and then squeeze it together to make sure that it is all nice and glued together. And that's what we're going to use for our locking mechanism on the top. Okay, now here's where it gets a little bit of a challenge. So you have to be, and you might need to use something to help hold it in place while you're trying to do this. So I've got my box, I'm pushing my sides together. Now this piece here, we're going to lay it on the top. Okay, we're going to glue it down on one side. So we want to make sure our sides are even and the seam is even when we push it together. All right. So I think I want to look and see what looks pretty centered for me. I'm going to squeeze these together so I can hold them. Just gives me an idea. So I'm going to say, I think that's pretty centered. So I'm going to put glue from like here on right here on this back side all the way around on the back side. Okay. So I'm going to put my finger right there. So I know I don't want to go past that mark for my glue. So I'm going to place my adhesive right here. And this is where you definitely want to use your Tombow because you'll need to be able to make any movements if you need to. Okay. So I've got my glue there. Now this again is where we come with the challenge. So I'm going to hold it this way because I think it might be a little bit easier for me to hold it down. This is where it gets a little cumbersome because I don't have big hands. All right. So I'm going to lay it here. Again, I'm going to eyeball it and I'm going to go with my, I think that's probably good right there. So I'm going to place this right here and I'm going to move this guy out of the way and then hold this down until it adheres. Okay. Now, if you come up with a better way, let me know. All right. And I've got my glue. I can add, I could have come back a little bit more. So I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive right on the sides here because I could add a little bit more than what I did. Okay. Just to make sure we have it glued down really good. So I'm just going to push it and make sure you don't put too much because you'll see right here, my glue is oozing out, which is fine because I'll just take some of the, what do you call it? The stuff we use when we get ready to emboss, do embossing, our embossing buddy. I'll take the embossing buddy and I'll just tap that on there. That will hide the glue and you won't see any residue. Okay, so we've got that on there, right? So now we're going to push this together. So there is the first part of our closing. All right, now we're going to take this little guy and we're going to glue him on the right side. So this one's going to go in the hole, right? So we're putting him in here. And this is where your tweezers might come in handy because we're going to push him around. All right, so we got to get him positioned. So we're going to put that because we want this tail is going to hook in, pardon me, it's going to hook into the back of this tail, right? So it holds it in place. So we're going to glue this one down over here so that when we open it, this is going to open up and come out like that, okay? So the way you can do this, and I did not bring a pencil, but you could, if you need to, you can make a mark with a pencil where your end of your flap is so that you'll know, you know, we're going to go a little less than halfway of putting our adhesive on here. All right. So I'm going to flip this over and I'll put adhesive about this much on the back. Okay. This is the piece that we put the two pieces together to make it a little bit thicker. So if you want to put a mark right here where you know it needs to go so it holds into place, then that's what you can do. So I'm going to place my little tweezers right about there. I'm going to move them up just a hair. And then I know that's where I need to glue this guy. But I want to make sure that it's, I've got it in the box. Whoopsie. Got my fingers on it. So I got to add some more glue. Hang on a minute. Got to make sure I got glue to hold him in place. Okay. So now my fingers are sticky. All right. So I'm going to close. Let me take this off. Get off there. All right. So we're going to close this. Make sure that it's even. I am determined to wear this glue. Let me put that down for just a second. I think we might use our tweezers. All right, so we've got it in place, right? So let's pick this up with our tweezers. And we're going to place this. I just want to get it in position. Then I can hold it down, okay? All right, so there we go. It's even. Our box is closed. And then I'm going to lay this right there. And then I can get that to glue down and hold it in place just for a minute. Just enough for it to adhere, and then I'll lift this up. Okay, and then we're going to lift this up, and then I'm going to hold this in place so I can move this out of the way. Okay, so you see how it lifts? Okay, and then we're going to push it down. There we go. This is the part that can be a little bit of a struggle, and then we want to make sure we get it straight. And I've got glue on my fingers, so that's not helping in it either. But see, you all get to see what I do so you don't do the same thing. So, all right, so I think we've got that on there. And that's pretty easy box, don't you think? All right, I'm gonna let it sit just a little bit more. Let me make sure both sides are sitting. And then, all right, so there's our box, and then we're just gonna lift this, and you can bend this a little bit if you want, just to get it, go in, and you want to push it in and push it over. And there we go. We've got it closing. And then this piece, we want to kind of tuck it under. And there is our box. What do you think about that? Isn't that cute? And then you've got the sides that coordinate. And then we open it up, pull it out. And then there's our surprise on the inside. And you can put whatever you want to put in there. But isn't that cute and very easy to do? So I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me bring in the other samples. And then if you want, you can just, once it's dried, you can pull that in some to get it started. And then again, you just want to push it down. Make sure you get your cardstock underneath the tail of it right there. And that will help hold it in place. So we have that one. And then this one's a little bit bent. Let's bend him down just a tad. And then we'll close. This is the fall one that we did. So there's that one. I'll turn them this way. And then we have the holiday one. This one I really struggled with for some reason. And I think because I got him off just a tad. And then here is the other one using some of that holiday paper. And we're going to get this guy pushed back and hold him in place. And there is our boxes. Aren't they cute? Don't you just love these? So there you go. There is a nice box idea that you can do and use for any types of birthday, any type of an event that you want to provide a nice gift. And it can hold candies, jewelry, anything you want to put in there within reason. Okay. Or money. You can even put money in there or gift cards. So that is what we did this evening. And that is all I have to show you. So thank you everyone for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I think these are great with the holidays coming up. And that is it for Tuesday evening. I look forward to seeing you. If you're interested, stop by tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for an information session that I will be giving you. And you'll be able to ask any questions or concerns that you may have. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for taking time out of your Tuesday evening. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope to see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and we'll do some talking about Stampin' Up. All right. Thanks again, everyone. See you tomorrow. If not, I'll be on Friday at 12 o'clock for our Fundamental Friday. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye now.